Welcome everybody by the BMI Inspires about extreme collaboration. Welcome in our creative village in Amsterdam. And we did get some very interesting answers on our question, think about your best team performance. And what made the team perform so well? So what you said, it's about having a shared goal, a common goal, a shared vision and trust, which is very important. And I think today these issues will pass in our conversation. So we are in the creative village of Business Models Inc. We are a strategy and innovation company. And today it's not about us, it's about extreme collaboration. This is our team. We work here with around 20 people, and extreme collaboration, to talk about this issue for us, is a little new, but we strongly believe in it, and we see in the way we work with our customers that it is all about extreme collaboration. What do we mean by extreme collaboration? For us, extreme collaboration is the way people behave, communicate, work together, and maintain relationships to collectively deliver breakthrough performance. So, what are we going to do today? Today, we're going to speak with Bram Meurs. Bram is a performance coach at the Talent Academy Group, and in his former career, he was a professional football player. He did write some books. And my colleague Demian Sepp, who is a strategy designer at Business Models Inc. and a huge football fan. So there's a great connection between the two of them. And within Business Models Inc., Demian is the person who came up with "We are the champions." We play champions, the Champions League. And this is a metaphor in many things we do within our own team. And I think Demian is a great example in having this team spirit in our team. It's about our point of view and yours. It's about value in creating a story, which we do together with you. It's fresh watching. That is something we do all the time. So examples, people we speak with, etc., is what is happening in the world around us. We don't have all the answers ourselves, but together we find them. It's about interaction. So please, whenever you've got questions, ask them. By the end of the session, there's time for a Q&A, and we'd love to answer all your questions and have this interaction with you and learn from you guys. So my question is, are you ready for Demian and for Bram? Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I hope you're ready. So thanks, Marije. We work in teams. We all work in teams. And most of us have learned to work in teams when they were young by doing sports. And for me, it was no different. I played soccer, probably not so good as you, Bram. I played at this average club in a suburb of a middle-sized town, and nothing really special, but we were a team of friends. We were together at school and we were together in the soccer team. And we really loved to play together. And as we were friends, we played more and more and became starting to win more and more games. So we became champions of the league, then champions of our region, champions of our province, and then we were invited for the national championship. Unfortunately, we didn't win that. We became 5th on the pitch and 2nd in court, hard court. So
big disappointment.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing, but for me, it was like the impossible dream came true, right? So something that I would never expect to achieve. So in those early years, I saw that, I like teamwork, and it planted the seed for teamwork and my interest in it. So after that, many years later, in my professional career, I worked in many teams, in creative teams, with developer teams, project teams, sales teams, also management teams, startup teams. Actually, you see me here on the left side, and a lot in my current job with a lot of corporate innovation teams.
Cool.
And in working with all these teams and in all those teams, I really see that people and teamwork really makes a difference. Also in innovation, right? But also that innovation and teamwork is hard work. And it's also pretty rare to have like this high performance teamwork. So you really need to consciously work on that every day. And that's what we want to help you guys with today, to share our insights, our knowledge, our best practices, and especially that of Bram, to help you guys to become better team players, better innovators, to really take those new ideas to market and create impact for your customers. Because that's what we want to do here, and teamwork is really important to do so. So today we want to share 4 key insights with us, 4 design criteria for a good team. And then you can achieve the impossible, right? Like this team. The soccer team of Ajax in the season 2019-2020, they accomplished something that we all thought that a Dutch soccer team could never achieve.
No, yeah.
Semi-finals of the Champions League with beautiful team play, and they only missed the finals this bit.
Yeah, it still hurts, man.
It really hurts. I was there in the stadium, and yeah, it really hurts. So let's stop talking about that.
I can feel it.
But
it's still hurting me.
Yeah, it's really hurting me. But it also made me proud, because I think it's an example of
totally agree.
Team play and a super high special performance. So the question then is, what can we learn of teams like this?
Interesting question.
That's why we're very happy that you are here as a performance coach of FC Utrecht, Ajax also, and with the Talent Academy you support, help teams like Ajax, but also the women's hockey team of Den Bosch, who are like 10 times champions on the row or something, even more. Jumbo-Visma cycling team.
In France right now,
also gonna win that probably. So you're doing something right.
Don't jinx it.
No, so to kick it off, Bram, what is, in your opinion, the difference between a well-performing team and a high-performing team?
Well, that's a really interesting but hard question to answer, because I think everybody wants to be a winning team. But the key is that like with this team, you have with the Ajax team, you have a brilliant group of talented people. But talent is one thing, like this showed in every given circumstance as a team is a whole different ballgame. So I think, especially when shit hits the fan, right? Then what you do in that situation as a team and how you collaborate or don't, those are crucial aspects in making progress in those situations. And I think this team, and also Jumbo-Visma, but also the hockey team is a good, like the Moss hockey team is having the shared values and the clear culture of how we're going to behave with each other, even when the pressure is on. That's different from teams that, if everything goes well, you can perform. So I think with you and with me, if we have a good day, then we have a good day.
Yeah.
But
it's
how? Easy. Yeah, it's easy. But how do you like if adversity is there, then what is your behavior then? What is your behavior? What's my behavior? And we work together. If we know that and we have a shared culture as well, then the chance of getting a high performance is bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that's key, that you know your behavior under pressure, but also have a shared culture, a shared vision, and be honest about that and confront each other when you see behavior that is not in line with the culture. Then I see teams, they have a culture, it's on the wall. Probably maybe you have a mission or vision statement, it's on the wall. But how is that, in your daily behavior? How can I see if I'm a day with you, how can I see what your culture is in your behavior? Because behavior doesn't need to be in your head, it has to be in your behavior. What you do on a daily basis determines where you're going to be in a couple of months, years, and so on.
Okay, nice. So you mentioned behavior, right? It's all about behavior, and especially when the pressure's on and things might go a little bit different than planned. Then that's the moment of truth. Right?
To me, I'm like, that's my work. I'm very interested if when that happens, I'm going to look at you and what is your behavior, and I'm going to hold the mirror and say, okay, when you were okay and when you were like everything was fine, then you said to me this and this and this, but do you still do that when the pressure is on? Most of the time we see a big difference there.
Nice. So that's also in line with what we see. So let's go to the first point of what we think is like a key design criteria for setting up a strong, high-performing team.
Yeah.
In business, in sports, in innovation, you need to have a clear and shared vision of what success looks like for you, right?
Yeah.
Because times we see that those goals are not clear enough, that they are interpreted differently by different members in the team, and that there is no shared image of what success looks like. So when you have this, right, like the racing team, and I'm not sure if you know the Netflix series Drive to Survive, there you see that winning the Formula One, for instance, is not the one-man show. It's also teamwork, and the team knows exactly what success looks like, and everybody works towards this vision they have of success. For you guys, maybe you know already these tools, but we want to address them. Like, these are tools that we use with teams, management teams, to define strategy and vision, also innovation teams, to define that shared vision and clear goals. So the core story canvas and the 5 bold steps vision canvas. You can find these on our website. You can download them for free. There's a description of how to use them. So please, if you don't have a clear shared vision of what success looks like for your team, take these canvases and use them. And another thing that we use is the power of visualization and storytelling. So for instance, here you see like this 5-year roadmap towards success of a management team of a company that we have helped to visualize their path to success, and what it takes. What are the big steps you need to take? What do you need to accomplish? And what is your role in that? And you mentioned putting your vision on the wall. We see that when you do that, you really can drive the conversation every time with every decision that you make in day-to-day work back to your vision and have that shared conversation. And
I don't think I can. Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Well, having that on the wall is a lot of companies and teams do that, because this is like kind of, this is what we need to do. We need to put it on the wall, make it visible for everybody to see. But when it really is, when it starts working, it's when it goes from the wall into your head, and from the head into your heart.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to show it on a daily basis. Because I see sometimes people and players, just like with Utrecht, we have our clear vision. It's on the wall. Yeah. But I'm constantly, bringing into conversation. Okay, what does that mean for you right now?
Yeah.
For you personally, but also for our team. So we're constantly repeating. Also in language, repeated language is very important. Then because you're creating habits, and when you create habits, then it becomes more automatic behavior, and that's what you're going for. So it's really interesting if you have this, because a lot of people have this. Try to think about how you can get it in your head, but from your head into your heart, and then into your daily behavior.
Yeah.
Because those steps are crucial, because then it just stays on the wall and you walk by it, and the risk of that is that people become cynical, because when you don't see the behavior in line with the culture, then they're going to say, because somebody in the big office made the big drawing, and they're going to say, yeah, but you're still in the big office. Well, what are you going to do about it? Yeah, but if he's not or she's not showing it, why do I have to do it then? So culture can go both ways, like a shared vision. It can be like a setback as well, because somebody has like something to slap you with. If you don't show behavior as a leader, as a group, then it can also be something that works against you.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah. Like, indeed, a leader should go first, right?
Yeah.
So they should share their vision continuously, but also show the desired behavior.
Yeah.
And
crucial.
Never, I think, and that's a hard one, not addressing not desired behavior, right? So it's a continuously job of a leader, but I think also for every member in the team, right? Is that something that you coach on? And do you also have experience in a business setting for that?
Yeah, of course. We do that as well in a like in the with the Talent Academy group, we have one part that's really into the sports area, but we can also transfer it to a business area. So, and in fact, those two things are basically the same, especially when you're in a high performance environment. Then you also have a leader, like a coach or a trainer. You also have a group, a team that needs to follow, but they really really need to believe what the leader is saying. So basically, the steps you take are the same, but it's crucial that you start from bottom up. So gathering information from the team. So what do you guys want? Where do you want to go? That's the basics. Then you're going to summarize that and present that. And okay, does everybody agree on that?
Yeah.
And then most of the time we make ambassadors. So within the group. So okay, who really likes this and who wants to play an active role in it? And then we're gonna train them in how to address the behavior. So it's on the floor. It's not only the leader, but it's also in the group as well. So it becomes something that you do on a daily basis with everybody.
Yeah.
So you got like 4 or 5 people now in the team. We have 4 or 5 people on 24 players, and I'm going to evaluate with them and have sessions with them only about the culture.
Interesting.
Not about playing football, not about the business we do, not about the skills you have, but only about behavior.
Yeah. Do you think we do that too a little in business?
Yeah.
We
So
talk
the question is, like an interesting question, when was the last time you had a conversation about the culture in your organization? Was that when you applied for the job? Okay, this is the culture.
Yeah.
So this is the mission statement. Have fun, and then most of the time it goes into a drawer, and you never have a conversation or an evaluation of the culture.
Yeah.
But
Or you talk about the culture that like it's something.
Yeah.
Not concerning you personally, right?
That's
So
true,
yeah. And I think we still, as a team, need to step up and talk about this behavior more and more.
Definitely.
But that's the difficult part. Another interesting thing that you mentioned is, as a leader, you have a vision, but you should leave room for team members, for everybody to bring in their vision and to bring everything together, right?
That's the environment you create.
Yeah.
So the safety, but we're going to talk about that later on as well.
Yeah. So let's go to
Interesting.
point number 2, personality.
Yeah.
Because in a team, you work with different people with different personalities.
Yeah.
Right? And I think knowing yourself and your own strengths, but also your pitfalls, how your behavior is under pressure, what your preferred behavior is, that's really important, right? And it's also important that you know that of your team members with you. And therefore you need to know what kind of personality you are, what other team members have. And a tool you can use for that, for instance, is the Myers-Briggs type indicator, which addresses the personality types based on Jung. And I, for instance, are an ENFP, ENTP kind of type. So I'm more outward going, I get my energy from other people. So more an extrovert than an introvert. I take information more based on intuition. I think thinking and feeling how I make decisions are quite, do both. And I'm more perceiving than judging, I think. So that means that I have a certain personality, which is not good or bad. It's just who I am, right? And
Well, it's good for me to know that that is your type.
Exactly. Because if you are totally, which kind do you think you are?
Well, I actually did this one. I am more ESTP, ISTP.
Right.
So I'm more rational, but I think that's pretty logical concerning the work I do. But the introvert and extrovert, it's kind of in the middle. But I think if I have to choose, it's more like, okay, I'm more the silent guy if I have a choice. But I'm action oriented, I'm logical, I'm an analytical, spontaneous as well, but also sometimes reserved. So if we work together, then we're kind of right, like on the I and the S. Yeah, we are complementary. Like, is that the right word? Yeah, right. Yeah. So we're a team, but also we can have discussions. And I think in the end, if we have a safe environment, that those discussions can be there. yeah, then we're the winning team.
Yeah, what I have seen a lot in teams is that when you don't know it, you expect certain behavior from your colleague that is logical for you.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense. So when you know it, you can understand that behavior better.
Yeah.
You interpret it differently. You know it's a good intention, and then you can communicate better.
Yeah.
Because you are closer linked, and then you can collaborate better.
Yeah.
So you you
this
use
is you,
this.
right? Is this you?
Yeah, this is my.
Oh, wow.
So we haven't met before.
No, I know
you don't know me, but now you know me. So
now you don't have any secrets.
this is the personal identity test.
Yeah.
We did with you guys.
Yeah.
So when you look at my result.
Well, maybe we should explain a little bit more about the wheel we're seeing. It's not a personality test. That's a good thing to mention. It's more about behavioral and behavioral preferences. It's also given a certain context. So we take this test mainly because we want to know what your behavior will be under pressure. Because that, to us, like in a high-performance environment, yeah, there's a lot of pressure. So it's really interesting for me, like what your natural behavior will be in that situation. So we have 7 skills, that's the outer ring, and they're all divided in 2 subskills, that's the inner ring. There's no good or bad. 6 is the highest score on the skill, and 0 is the lowest. It's a very, like, not a simple test, but you can, like, in I think 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you fill it in.
Yes, something like that, yeah.
And was it accurate?
Yeah,
yeah, it was.
I recognize myself. Maybe yeah, it's in Dutch. Sorry about that, but
yeah. So we have the dark blue. It's the leadership. That's a 5 on belief. So probably you in a group will take leadership, but your will to steer other people, to tell other people what to do is low. It's 2. So you have a belief, but then you say how you think it is, and then you take a step back, and then you're going to see, okay, what are the people going to do? So you don't feel responsible for what other people are doing. So when pressure is on, that's probably what you're going to do. But also, what's interesting, the zeros, the 2 zeros, is that if I tell you what to do and I create a very clear structure for you, then you're going to be irritated. So you want to create your own structure. So high on structure, that's light blue. You have details and structure. So low on structure is building your own structure. High on structure is that you like to have some guidelines and people telling you, what do you expect from me? With you, I'm just not creating any structure for you. I'm just asking you, so what do you want? So if the pressure is on, I don't need to tell you what to do. But if I'm like high on structure, and I'm high on will, I'm willing to tell you what to do, then we're gonna have a problem. And I can kind of predict that when we work together, and that's pretty interesting. So okay, when there's no pressure, we have to talk about that before the pressure is on, exactly. Because otherwise we have a problem, and we as a team perform lower than we can. So. Yeah. Also, what's interesting, well, I see the wheel, and then
we don't have time to go through.
No, and the other thing is really interesting is change, like the 6 on that's what color is that? Like dark yellow, kind of brown. So you need a lot of change. So if your day every day is the same, then you're gonna be bored. So build your own structure, and probably you're gonna change that structure as well. But if you work together with somebody who's low on change, maybe me, then I want like a clear a view of my day. And if something is changing, then you really need to ask me, are you okay with this change? And you're like, yes, change. Whoa, let's go. Come on. And I'm like, whoa, no. I don't want any change. So when we work together, it's maybe we have the same knowledge. So make a distinction between the knowledge we have and the talent we have and the way we use the talent. And then when the pressure is on, how are we going to use the talent? That's behavior, and that's completely different. That can be completely different within the team, and addressing that's crucial in high performance teams.
Yeah, interesting. So we did this all with our team, and it made a lot more clear, and then you can again interpret it. So I recommend to everyone working for a longer time together in a team to take such a personality test.
Yeah.
Also that because you can interpret behavior, and when the pressure rises, you can have that discussion on behavior without judging that behavior.
Yeah,
I think that's also really important.
Well, like one example, maybe that's interesting from football, is that we have, like in a team where I work with, we have a guy who is really high on impulsiveness. So he makes decisions in the moment. So, but we have a structure before the game. So like, okay, we're going to do this and this and this. But he works together with a guy who is low in impulsiveness.
Yeah.
So he makes a decision which is not in line with what they talked about like half an hour ago. And he's like, yo, what are you doing, man? Don't you like me? Or like these questions are like, and he's like coming into the dressing room during halftime. So I can now play with this player because he doesn't understand it. No, wait, he understands it, but he's impulsive and he sees a chance and he goes for it. You are not impulsive and you're going to think about it, but you need him because impulsiveness is very good in football because something out of the blue, he can score a goal. So this is how we use it like in that context.
Yeah, so that you also are aware of each other's strengths in that sense.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, what I always find interesting is when you do all these personality tests, you try to find the perfect heterogeneous team, like all pieces of a puzzle fitting together.
Yeah.
But it's a huge challenge.
That is, yeah.
Because how to recruit and build a team. Like you see that every culture has a certain average personality. So what's your point of view on building a perfect team of all those different personalities?
Yeah, most of the time I say I'm going to be exclusive on culture. So exclusive, like the culture is what the culture is. This is our company. This is what we go for. This is our mission. So
take what is there.
Yeah, we are exclusive on culture and inclusive in type of people. So everybody can work here as long as you're in line with the culture and you understand what we're doing and what your behavior is. So within that team, as long as, well, that's step one. If everybody is on the same page, you can write on the page whatever you want. But it has to be on the same page. It has to go in the same direction. It has to be in the same book. So that's exclusive on culture and inclusive in how people work with their talents. So, for instance, if you have a company, you need a developer, you need a sales guy, you need marketing. That's just your skill set. Mm-hmm. But your mindset, like your behavior, yeah, that's something you can look into as well in selecting people. But you cannot be, that's not. We don't want somebody who doesn't like change. No, you're not fit to work here. I think that's not legally possible. But I do think that you need to be aware of the personality of the people you bring in and how you can work with it. Yeah. As long as you're on the same page.
Yeah. And also therefore the test helps because you know who you bring in.
For me, it's like crucial, like with the players we have.
Looking at two teams. So you have team A and team B. Team A is a very well-structured team of professionals. Mm-hmm. When they have a meeting, they start on time. Everybody's well prepared. They have this agenda. It's shared up front. And everybody speaks on turn, giving their opinion about the topic. And then at the end, the decision is made. Meeting ends on time and they leave. And team B is totally different, right? So they are way more dynamic and maybe bring in different topics, lively discussions, interrupting each other, giving their opinions. Meetings take longer. What is a better team?
You prefer team B, right?
It is.
Looking at your wheel, I think you go for team B.
Yeah, I'm more on team B.
Wrong or right?
Yeah.
Wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, it suits my.
But I'm not sure if that's the best team.
Okay.
No.
What I find interesting of this example, which I read in the book of Patrick Lencioni, is like it doesn't really matter. Team A is not per se better than Team B, what you might expect, because what is in the foundation of good teamwork is psychological safety. Yeah. And I think in business, especially in a very hierarchical structures. Sorry about that.
I get you.
Sometimes there's a lack of psychological safety. So then it feels like you're very effective. You make decisions, but when this is lacking, what you have and this is a little bit theory of Patrick Lencioni, he sees, okay, when there's an absence of trust and psychological safety, you don't address your concerns or your things that you don't know, right? Because you might think that others think you are stupid because you are paid to know things, right? We see that a lot. And when you don't do that, you don't have constructive conflict. So you don't have this conflict about why are things as they are, or what is your opinion about this, and to be heard, right? And if you are not heard, you're intrinsically not committed to the decision because you have not been part of that decision, especially when the leader didn't ask you if you are okay with that decision, or when you aren't, if you're willing to take your personal opinion aside and do it for the team. And that's the lack of commitment. So when you are engaged and committed, then you are accountable, and then you also hold others accountable, and that's the base, the steps to really reach to high-performing results. It was interesting to see that at Google they did a whole quest and a lot of research about building the perfect team, and also there you see that psychological safety is the basic part of a high-performing team, and also dependability. So to do my job, I need your input, and I need it on time, because I have to deliver to someone else on time. And when that bar is really high, you get this high-performing, dependent team members working together and having open discussions about how to do that.
I use the term skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
Yeah. So if everybody has skin in the game, then you're dependable. So I need you. And if I don't, if you have skin in the game and I have skin in the game, then we both have a similar interest. So if it doesn't work out, then you're accountable and I'm accountable. And as long as you don't have skin in the game, and that's when everybody has skin in the game, everybody has is facing the consequences if it doesn't work out.
Yeah. So you all win or you all lose.
There you go. Yeah.
And how do you build on these environments of psychological safety in sports or also in business?
Well, this is something like psychological safety is something that, especially in high pressure environments, when there's a lot at stake, when you can individual really grow, like for instance in a consultancy company, when you're the best, you're going to take the next step on the career ladder. Yeah, then if you don't have a clear culture about, if you don't have safety in your culture, or you didn't address it, and pressure is on, then people are thinking for themselves, yeah, but if I do this and I'm not telling that, then I will win.
Hidden agendas.
Yeah, then you get the hidden agendas. So it's you got to really open this up, and it's pretty tricky, because if you have, especially the key players are not on that page, then it's really hard to create that psychological safety. But this is something that we really aim for. Like in the football world, this is something that isn't necessarily there. Because you have a dressing room where you have to work together, but also,
your own career.
You're my competition as well.
Also because you have a broad selection.
And there's a lot of money in that. So, and the other day we were at the company, and it was you can really take steps, and you can earn a lot of money, and there's a lot of status if you work at the company. So then psychological safety is something that you really need to be aware of and evaluate if it's still there, because if I'm better than you, then I'm gonna win and you're gonna lose, but to really think of the team, it's the fastest way to go, like in the individual view. But then the logical conclusion of that is that psychological, it isn't safe. So what will happen is that people will go for their own goal and not for the team goal, and they're not gonna tell you or confront you about things they don't like, and then they're gonna talk behind your back, or gonna talk outside the company, because it's not safe there. There's no trust, because if you tell somebody about your feelings, they're gonna use it against you, and then then you have a big
how,
problem.
how then to build this, like always address that when you see that?
Address that.
And what I found interesting now with the Jumbo-Visma cycling team, for instance, is that you have 3 potential Tour de France winners, and they need to collaborate.
Yeah.
So maybe I can understand that psychological safety, openness, not competing but collaborating, was a big challenge there.
But it all started with the values in that team. Like if you go back, like this is the result of like 5 years ago, where what is the thing we really need to go for? What do we believe? What are our core values, and how do we work together? And they used everybody in the team, like not only the guys who are on the bike, but also the guys who are responsible for the gears, or who are bringing everybody. So what is the shared value over here? What do you think we need to go for? And then that's kind of the same like we did with the story about the culture. And once you have that, it's constantly bring it into conversation, addressing that. And it's a really crucial aspect of the leadership in the team. Like this is on one with Google. So that's the first thing you talk about when you start your day. Every day, every meeting, every thing you do. All right, everybody understand, especially the language you use needs to be the same as well. And address people who are responsible for the psychological safety. Look for it. When you see it, okay, that's okay, name it, but if you don't see it, address it.
So then first of all, you need to make clear what that behavior is.
Yeah, of course. So
that's
the point.
I think that's not really often done in business.
No.
But you mentioned that, like last one then is personal leadership. Hey, I'm doing this for the team, or hey, this is in my interest and not in the team interest. And as a leader, you should address that, right?
Well, there's nothing wrong with individual goals, of course, because they can help the team as well. So you need to really help people reach their individual goals as well, as long as they're on the same page. So being on the same page, working from shared value is key. But personal leadership is of course has something to do with the team and how you work together in the team. But also, what do you do to get your goals? Which choices do you make? What time are you at work? What do you eat? What's your lifestyle? How do you work together? What do you do when you hit adversity? Stuff like that. What do you for your personal growth? What time you go to bed? That's personal leadership. So you want to go somewhere, and we're coaching on behavior. What do you do for that? And what do you need to do for that, and how far are you from that? So that's more personal leadership, and you can do that yourself, but also in personal coaching. And leadership in a team, that's something you got to learn as well. Well, not everybody can be a leader, but we use like the PIP test to select leaders as well. But also, like in a big team, we decided, like that's a colleague of mine, I cannot name the team, but it was a big team. They won a very big prize, like a world championship. And they had to decide who would take the last ball. So they had a lot of leaders in the team, but there's only one was very high on, but I want I have the will to take the responsibility as well. Okay, you take the ball. But they would never decide that on their own, but we used PIT, and we gave her the ball, and she scored it, and they won the title.
Nice.
So that's like a feel-good story, but that's a good example of how you use like leadership in daily behavior, using a test like that.
And also therefore accepting who you are and what your role is in the team. And this is our team, and we're working hard on this, improving every day, working more and more as a team, aligning all those personal ambitions and
very cool
ideas into one.
And John Mayer is on it. I can see it.
Yeah, also because it's not in here. Our ambition is to play at Champions League level, and we need your help with that. So to conclude, at least these 4 things: have a clear vision and ambition. What do you want to achieve together, so that you can align behavior towards that.
Well, it's what do you want to achieve, and what does it mean for behavior? That's a crucial
yeah.
thing to add.
That's a nice addition.
What does
that
it
you can
mean
translate
for-
it back.
Yeah, and even better, what does it mean for your daily behavior?
Yeah.
So how can I, that's something when I coach somebody, okay, how can I see when I have a day, spend a day with you, in your daily behavior, that you want to achieve your goal?
Yeah.
But because it's only when it's only in your head, yeah, you're not going to reach it.
Yeah.
Because
So
from
you don't
behavior
see
comes behavior.
Yeah.
Behavior is crucial.
taking personality into account.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Creating that psychological safe environment.
Yeah.
And then take ownership yourself, and as a leader, do this all together, day by day.
And evaluate it.
Yeah, thank you. So as we are working better as a team and playing in the Champions League, we see that, especially Patrick, the founder, he had this dream of taking the next step with his company, and he was very more confident to do that with this team behind him. So then we moved here to the Creative Village. But also when the Corona kicked in, we as a team sat together, and you see also that everybody reacts differently in this kind of situation. But as you know, you have the right intention and goals. As a team, we were able to really quickly respond to this in a really good way, and create new success. So really, Dreamwork takes teamwork. Thank you so far, and let's see if there are any questions from the audience. Not so many. All right, then let's kick it off. Let's end it. Marije, can you?
I can close it.
Close it off.
Yeah, maybe a final question to you guys. If you have to pick the most important step you could take for your own company to achieve the dream team, what would it be? Out of the four, is it a combination or is it one specific one?
To me, it's like what I address the most is, do you evaluate your culture every week or month? Do you have like a really a meeting just before, just for like, what are we doing here and are we still doing it?
Yeah.
So the mission statement, the vision, or something like that. That's in every company, but well, you need to work with that. So address and evaluate the culture.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it's really your point of behavior, that you translate everything you want to accomplish back to tangible behavior that you can address day by day. Cool. If you do that, you can make a big step.
Cool. Thanks, Bram. Thanks, Demian.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining today. We hope you will be at our next BMI Inspires, which is on October 15, how to set up your plan for 2021, which we think is quite important, especially in these crazy, unusual times. What is your plan for 2021? We hope to see many of you again in this session. Thank you for now. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.